What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie. This is Bear and Zuko. Daisy's on the floor. You're watching New Light Pets. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about 10 reasons not to get a pet ferret. Now, ferrets are pretty adorable animals and seem like such a desirable, fun pet to have. They're hilarious, full of personality, cute, cuddly little babies, but they are high maintenance and it comes with a lot of cons. Ow, and just as he bites me in the chin. Now, don't get me wrong, I love having ferrets. It is by far one of my most favorite animals to have and take care of, but they are not for everybody. It takes definitely a lot of work, understanding, and time and space and money to take care of these guys. So before you consider bringing home a pet ferret, listen to these 10 reasons why you should not get one. Let's start with reason number one, the obvious and number one thing that most people associate with ferrets, that they stink. And this is true. Ferrets definitely do have a stinky smell to them. They have a musky smell, and even though many of the ferrets that you buy here in the United States are descented, they still have a musky odor to them, and you will smell that when you go into somebody's house who has pet ferrets. The other thing to keep in mind is that you can't really bathe a ferret very often. It's not healthy for them, and it can be really irritating to their skin. They need to have those natural oils to stay healthy. So really bathing a ferret more than twice a year is not good for them. So you can't rely on that to get rid of that smell. It is just a non-negotiable that comes with a ferret. And not to mention, these guys are pooping machines, and they poop and poop and poop a million times a day, and poop stinks, especially ferret poop. Now, this leads me to reason number two not to get a pet ferret is that you will be cleaning up every single day. And if you're not, you are going to have a really disgusting smelling house. I have to clean up poop every single day for these guys, and they are very messy. Even outside of the pooping, they're always just destroying their room that they live in. And then of course we do have to do a thorough deep clean about once every week, where I mop floors, I wash all of the bedding, I sanitize shelving in their enclosure, etc. So if you're considering a pet ferret, do count on the fact that you will be cleaning a lot. Now for reason number three. Ferrets need a lot of space. If you are not able to offer a full room to designate to them, or allow them at least 6 to 8 hours of free roam time in your house, then a pet ferret is not a good choice for you. They need, oh God. Zuko's still a bit of a baby, so he does nibble a lot, which we'll get into later. But they do, like I said, need a lot of space to play. They are extremely active animals. They love to play, and they need to burn off that energy. Otherwise, they become bored and depressed. So they need space to do their silly little ferret things. This would also mean that you cannot just cage your ferret. Although I do have this cage here behind me, it stays open all the time, and this room is fully designated to them. I keep the cage though just so that I can lock them up for when I have to clean in here, because they are a nuisance and they will bother me and make cleaning nearly impossible. Reason number four, ferrets are so expensive. The ferret themselves, if you end up buying one from a pet store, you can plan on at least $400 as of lately. And then of course you have to take in consideration all of the supplies that you'll need, toys, bedding, enrichment, their food. I have my ferrets on a raw diet, and that costs me anywhere from about $1 to $150 a month to feed 3 ferrets. Even kibble for ferrets if you do go that route, which I don't exactly recommend, but if you do, that's expensive as well. And then of course you have to take into consideration veterinary costs. Ferrets are prone to some pretty serious illnesses, so they will eventually likely need to see an exotic vet, and we know that is not a cheap thing. Reason number 5, you really cannot have just 1 ferret. You need to have at least 2, otherwise they will get a bit sad and depressed. They are very sociable creatures, and there is nothing more enriching and better for a ferret to play with than another ferret. I personally love having multiple ferrets. It's a lot of fun, but you still have to take into consideration that of course is more costs and more time and more effort put into taking care of your little mustelid friend. Number 6 is such a heartbreaking one. Unfortunately, ferrets do not live very long lives. The average lifespan for a ferret is about 5 to 10 years, 10 being on the much higher side. These guys are very prone to illness, as I have mentioned before, and they have just been really, really overbred. So unfortunately, they don't have the greatest genetics. So unfortunately, it is a short amount of time spent with these guys, although in my opinion, it is so worth it because they are such lovable, amazing little creatures. And this leads me to number 7, which we already touched on, the fact that these guys get a lot of health issues. Everything from adrenal disease to insulinoma. They are very prone to it. It's very, very common. A lot of them will get cancer and tumors. One way that you can really prevent this is by doing your research beforehand and getting them on a good, healthy, raw diet. I cannot stress this I cannot stress this enough. It is so important to your ferret's health and will benefit them in the long run. Reason number 8. These guys are actually illegal in a couple of places. So places like Hawaii and California in the United States does have a law that these guys are illegal to have as pets. So depending on where you live, make sure you do your research and make sure that it's legal to have one in the first place. Reason number 9, a big one for this little guy right here. Ferrets do tend to bite a lot, especially when they are little, when they are kits, and they scratch. They have long nails, so you will have to trim their nails frequently. Otherwise, it's going to be painful and also not healthy for them. But the fact that they do bite and scratch can make this not an ideal pet for people with really small children or for people that simply don't like to be bit or scratched. If you don't like that, do not get a pet ferret. And for my final reason number 10, ferrets are so mischievous and they will absolutely get themselves into trouble. They love to steal. I've had my ferret steal my cell phone and hide it inside of a couch. They steal keys, socks. They love to nibble on shoes. They will nibble on wires. So if your house is not ferret proofed, you can count on your ferret getting into something that they should not. So this can be, of course, very stressful and would require you to put in a lot of work to make sure that they are safe. All right, guys, well, that is it for my video this week. Bear and I thank you guys for being here, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. We do weekly exotic pet care videos, and until the next video, you guys have a great week.